What is this high speed rail train that is coming to the high desert? When is it going to be coming? Where is it going to be? And how will it impact our local economy? We're going to be talking about that today and more on today's edition of the Brian Hirsch Show. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Brian Hirsch Show. We are delighted to have you here wherever you may be. Well, one of the topics of conversation that has gone on for some time now is this idea of a high-speed train that's going to connect Southern California to Las Vegas. The question is, when is this going to happen? Where is this train going to be? And how is it going to impact our local economy? And so we're going to be talking about that today. I mean, the idea seems like a good one in some ways, but with it comes, a myriad of questions, and there's a lot of skepticism. I want you to check this out. This is from Fox Business News. I think this was published, what was it, back in March, if I'm not mistaken. Construction of the 10 billion high-speed train connecting Southern California to Las Vegas begins. Our nation's first high-speed rail system will be opened and maintained by union labor. A statement of the strength of American workforce, Brightline Holdings CEO Mike Renninger said. So apparently the company, or the name of the train, is now going to be Brightline. Says the system will depart from San Bernardino, California, and have stops in the Victor Valley, including Hesperia, Apple Valley, Rancho Cucamonga, and the Las Vegas Strip. So, I mean, if this comes to fruition, it's a big deal, right? Says Renninger continued, as the most shovel-ready high-speed rail project in the United States, we are one step closer to leveling the playing field against transit and infrastructure projects around the world. And we are proud to be using America's most skilled workers to get there. So we are supposed to have as our guest today Mike Arias, who has quite a bit of information on this. We wanted him to share, but he's not with us yet. So let me send him a little text here. Take a look at what else the article says. The Brightline West system will not connect directly to Los Angeles, but will utilize the existing Metrolink infrastructure to transport to San Bernardino. $10 billion project is expected to create, listen to this, 35,000 jobs, and hopes to complete the train system by 2027. Wow, we're talking about just less than 5 years, you guys, is when this is going to come in. So while we're waiting for Mike to jump in, let's go over to this week's market update. And something very interesting about this week's market update. In the last 30 days, we sold 376 homes. The median sale price for those homes was $420,500. Now, this is a key number because watch this. Now, we've been tracking this all year long. Year over year. What are we on, our 25th episode, I think? So year over year, same period of time last year, we had 466 homes sold at a median sale price of $420,000. We sold almost 20% fewer homes year over year And for the first time this year, we are up 0.1% in our median sale price. We're a little higher in our median sale price this week than we were 1 year ago. First time it's happened all year. It's something for us to track as we move things along. In escrow, we've got 573 homes in escrow, and active listings, we've got 633 homes. So the 573 homes in escrow is a little low, as well as the 376 homes sold. That's also a little low. Couple of factors happening here. Inventory remains very tight, 633 active listings. So you're not going to sell as many homes when there's not as many homes for sale. But also this tends to happen almost every year in the month of July, where things slow down just a little bit, probably because people go on vacations. And rates haven't changed this week, 6.1% to 6.3%. And so interesting on the market update. We're going to keep a close eye on this as we move forward. Now, last week, I promised you that I would give you my review of the film Sound of Freedom. Bobby and I did go see it. And I have to tell you, friends, it is as captivating a film as you're ever going to watch. I can also tell you this, it is a difficult film to watch. It's both captivating and difficult, and it is truly an eye-opener. I highly recommend it. It has now had $100 million at the box office. So it's a smash hit, even though it's an independent film. And I do recommend that you go look at it. So I'm going to give Mike a call real quick just to see where he's at and see if we can get him on the podcast. Dude, we're live waiting on you, brother. Yeah, it's right now. Okay, thanks. Yep. All right. Okay. Sorry about the miscommunication. So Mike should be coming on here any moment now. He did send me over a graphic that I'll share with you on where it's going to be. So we'll share that screen. Dude, Mike, what is up, man? For a minute there, I thought, my gosh, he's gonna bail on us.
No, definitely not. I was trying to find that image, and then the phone's ringing. Monday fun day, you know what I mean?
All right, so I had a conversation actually with somebody on the. I'm going to try to pull up this graphic on the golf course this week.
Yeah.
And I said, look, this high-speed rail, is coming. And the common response I get from people is, yeah, right. Because I guess, this has been in the works for some time. How long has this, the idea of this project been in the works?
I think I hear about it. It's like something like 20 years or something like that. Talked about it.
20 years, really?
Something crazy like that. Like they've been talking about it because remember this thing, especially with that E220 corridor, which is that corridor supposed to go from Palmdale and loop all the way into Apple Valley or whatnot. Supposedly all this stuff was kind of talked about years and years and years ago. But, really coming to fruition probably in the last 3 or 4.
Okay, so 3 questions. Question number 1, let's go ahead and address this one. Where is this high-speed trail or high-speed rail going to be?
Yeah, this high-speed train. So where they've purchased this property, and that's the image you have there, that is just south of Dale Evans Parkway. So the 15 freeway in Dale Evans, and that would be technically the southeast corner of the 15 freeway and Dale Evans. So on the southeast corner, and this specific area they talk about is going to be a maintenance yard as well as a actual station, you know, to load and unload passengers as well. So they talk about a maintenance yard. Remember, they have their northern maintenance yard in Las Vegas as well. So they'll have a maintenance yard there and then a maintenance yard here in Apple Valley. I'm going to send you this other image right now too, of this latest acquisition they just purchased over here in Hesperia. You could throw that up for your viewers as well. So I'll do that right now as you're talking. But so anyways, you know, a lot of activity, a lot of motion happening still with this deal. You know, as that image shows you there, back in 2020, they purchased all of this land for $27.5 million back in 2020. And at that time, they took out a loan for $177 million as well. And then recently this year, they just took out a second loan for $122 million, I want to say, with Deutsche Bank. So that's another big portion of this money that's coming forward too. So a lot of activity still happening. Every few months, something else is happening that's moving this thing forward. So it's not like they acquired it and it's sitting there dead deal, nothing's happening. Activity is still happening, definitely. And here's a latest acquisition. Let me send you this image real quick. It will pull up. And they just purchased this Hesperia location for $1.1 million. It was a 10-acre piece. What I'm hearing is that they actually did a subdivision and it's only 3 acres. So this other facility here in Hesperia that they're talking about is going to be another loading unloading station, because remember, they want this thing to drop down and hit Rancho Cucamonga to link up with the metro. So in a sense, you're linking LA to Las Vegas, and that is their end game plan, and they're moving forward on it. Like I said, for them to continue to acquire stuff is pretty wild.
The article that we read just a few moments ago from Fox News Business came out in March of this year, said that maybe it was going to be San Bernardino, but you're saying Rancho?
Yeah, that's where it's going to end up, and that's they need to get that thing up the pass, right? The Cajon Pass is where all the majority of the traffic really bottlenecks. So for them to be able to get that thing through the Cajon Pass, to be able to link LA or everybody down there, San Diego, LA through and to Las Vegas is the idea. Remember, they say I think it's 70% of Vegas's revenue comes from Southern California.
So how much?
They know. I think it's like 70% of Las Vegas revenue comes.
So if there's no Los Angeles, there's no Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Is what it comes down to.
They know they have to. The faster they can get people to there, Southern California to Las Vegas, the faster, the easier they can make the money. Right. Our biggest bottleneck is getting there via automobile. And flights. Flights is just.
Did you send me the Hesperia location already?
Yeah, that one's coming through right now. Let me see, portrait land.
For those listening on the podcast, just give a verbal on where that's going to be.
Yeah, this is on Mojave Street in the 15 freeway. Mojave Street in Hesperia on the 15 freeway. So let's see if this one just loaded up for me. And email that over to you real quick.
Yeah, I'm refreshing my browser so we can get that thrown up here. Right. Now, I mean, they're talking about having a stop in Hesperia and Apple Valley?
Yeah, so Apple Valley, again, is going to be doubled as the maintenance yard, supposedly, and a station to load and unload passengers, and then another station in Hesperia. That'll be the most southern location, they say, to then drop people down and load them on to get to the Cajon Pass if you were going to load on at the Hesperia stop. So
okay, well, when I shared the live event, and I'll just kind of stand by here and wait for that graphic to come through, but when I shared the live event, there were some people who jumped on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
One comment was waste of taxpayer money. Another, been talking for so many years, spending millions already.
Yeah.
Is this a taxpayer funded project?
No. So what they say is that there's going to be, remember, it's $3.75 billion is what they've got allocated from the federal government. That's the bond they're going for. The other $7 billion, that's only 1/3 of the project. The other basically $7 billion that they're looking for is going to be privately funded money here. And let me get the actual verbiage of that. I just sent you that image. Did you see that thing come through yet?
Yeah, go ahead. While I'm downloading this, you can tell us about the verbiage.
Yeah, it's let me see here. It's you got the I had that whole it's federal funding for the $3.75 billion, tax exempt private equity bonds and private capital.
So it's a $10 billion project.
$10 billion project.
And $3 billion of it's coming from the feds.
3.75 billion. And this money is already allocated. This money is already dedicated for this project.
It's already been earmarked.
It's already been earmarked.
So, a few weeks ago, it's probably about 2 months ago, we had Joe Brady on, and he was kind of sharing with us about this project. And I believe he mentioned that some of what they were waiting for is this infrastructure bill to be passed, but that's already been passed.
Yeah, so they got bipartisan agreement from both California and Nevada. But both parties are for this project. So I think they got a couple last steps to go for to get the actual vote to get this money. But the government's saying that this money's already earmarked for this project. They just got to go through the last final steps to get this thing done. But again, it's only 1/3 of the project. And here's the thing. Here's what's funny is people go, well, who's this private money? It's probably Las Vegas. I mean, again, if anybody is going to put billions of dollars in this project to get their customers to them faster, it's going to be Las Vegas. There's no doubt about it, right? These guys have the money for stuff like that. And
wow,
here's the funny thing is that people say that thing, oh, this is a waste of who's going to ride this train? Maybe those people haven't driven to Vegas lately, but here's the funny thing.
I would 100%, bro.
Oh,
for one, I'd start flying out of Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. For one, yeah, that would be the biggest thing. But here's the thing is that if you go to Las Vegas and he says, listen, they talk about the ticket is going to be like $70, right, to get on this train, $70 to get on the train. People go, well, who's going to pay $70? Well, for one, if you gamble or hang out at a hotel, you're probably not going to pay anything because I'm sure they're not only going to comp your rooms like they usually do Las Vegas, but they're also going to pay your train ticket as well. But here's the thing. He said, listen, once you get on this, if you're driving, you and the wife are in the car, you're heading to Las Vegas, and all of a sudden you hit a little traffic and the first train passes you. He said by the second or third train, you're going to be questioning probably life in itself as you're gridlocked in 115-degree weather. He said by the fifth train that passes you, if your wife doesn't reach over and slap you for not spending the $70 or the 140, you're probably never going to drive again, right? And I mean, you just think about that. How many times have you sat in the traffic in blazing heat or didn't feel like driving that thing? You get to Vegas in an hour and a half from Apple Valley. And remember, it's a first-class airport-style treatment where you check your luggage in on the train. The transportation will automatically be there for whatever hotel you're going to and transfer your luggage onto that vehicle, and you will not see your luggage until you check into your hotel.
Wow.
Why would you not? I mean, it's something I think we've all been waiting for a 3-hour drive. If there's no traffic, 2 hours and 45 minutes, no traffic. And remember, that's from here. If you come from Rancho Cucamonga, you're adding 2 hours on a Sunday night or a Monday morning all the time.
Right.
All day long. And now you see the gridlock coming out of right out of state line, right? When you come to the agricultural inspection, gridlock, right? Hours. Add another hour onto your travel time at least.
So, it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to give you an option to zip up and down there quickly, right? You're going to get up there in about the same amount of time that would take you to drive to Los Angeles, and that's if there's no traffic.
Right.
If there is traffic, you add an hour. So, it's about an hour and a half drive to Los Angeles, but if there's traffic, it's 2.5. 2.5, 3 hours. You can get from here to Vegas in an hour and a half. Almost always the flight itineraries include a stop either in Las Vegas or Phoenix these days.
Yep.
So if you could eliminate that stop, it's going to shorten your travel time, your air travel time, and it's going to loosen up traffic on the interstate, presumably, right? Yep. It won't be as bad. So if you elected to drive. Okay, so your little graphic there, is this north or south of Ranchero?
That's north of Ranchero, north of Main Street, south of Bear Valley Road.
North of Main Street.
Yeah, north of Main Street. So, you know, they've slated, I think, Mojave Street for overpasses for years because I believe, as you can see, that whole road on the other side here, all those paved roads, I believe that's the hospital that was supposed to go there too. Let me click on that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I see where
Yeah,
it's at.
St. Mary's Medical.
Yeah.
That's all St. Mary's Medical. So, like I said, they already slated that road there for an overpass. So you'll be able to exit and enter off of the 15 freeway onto that other spot. And they just purchased that. I mean, they just purchased it. That's what I try to keep telling people.
Do you think that do you think that they're going to stop that the train itineraries are going to stop both in Hesperia and Apple Valley? I mean, why would they do that?
I think so. I believe so. I believe so to continue to pick people up. And like I said, the next one won't be till Rancho Cucamonga. So,
gotcha.
And remember, they have a train leaving every 45 minutes. So maybe one leaves from Apple Valley, maybe one leaves from Victorville, so on and so forth. Every 45 minutes, a train is leaving or arriving at both of these locations.
Okay. So now that we've covered where, and I hope, you know, I mean, it's been enlightening for me where the train's going to go. Well, let me ask you this before we kind of jump into the next question. Do you think that their plans are to build this rail system from the high desert to Las Vegas first before they connect it to Rancho?
Well, what they say, and I think it's going to start in Apple Valley first. I believe so for sure. But what they're telling us is that it's going to go 2 crews from both sides. One's going to start Warm Springs in Vegas on that intersection there, and the other one's going to start probably in Apple Valley, maybe Hesperia now. And they're going to work from both ends and meet in the middle. That's the game plan.
They're going to connect that. They're going to connect the desert to Las Vegas before they connect the desert to Rancho.
That's what we've heard. But again, this thing's constantly changing. It would be obviously way better if they could connect that thing to Rancho first and start moving this direction here. But
well, that would be nice too. I mean, same thing with with you know, flying in and out of Ontario. I'd love to be able to just zip the train down there instead of having to drive. But especially because you know, how fast does the thing go? 150 miles an hour or something?
180 miles an hour.
180.
Yeah, 180.
Do you know how fast you could get from Victorville to Rancho going 180 miles an hour?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be zigzagging down the path at 180, but the straight shot from here, from basically from probably from Barstow to at least past Las Vegas, I would say right into Las Vegas is probably going to be at that rate of 180 miles an hour, the more straight shots. But shooting down here is probably going to be more than 30, 40, 50 mile an hour as it goes down the Cajon Pass, which still no traffic. The way the train goes, I mean, it's very fast.
Okay, so well, a couple more questions. First is, this is going to happen 1,000%.
I tell you what, being on the planning commission, and sit there talk to the planners and stuff, and I was asking one of our head planners, and I said, "What do you think about this thing, man? You think this thing's going to happen?" He said, "Man, you always have a gut feeling if something's going to happen or not." He said, "We believe this thing's happening," and like I said, with the support behind it, and like I said, but not only the government support, but the support of Las Vegas. I mean, you got all of Las Vegas behind this thing. I mean, there's no doubt. Every casino is behind this thing 110%. There's no doubt about it. So, I mean, yeah, I would bet my money on this thing that this thing's going to happen for sure.
Okay. Second question: when do we think this is going to take place?
They were talking about breaking ground last year, but I mean, this was out of all the COVID stuff that happened, right? That they postponed. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if you see breaking ground by the end of the year, hopefully, but I would think 2024 at the latest. And they think I believe, I forgot the projected build out time, but I want to say maybe it was a couple years of build out to get, because remember, there's laying track. They're not putting any structures up really besides the actual stations or whatever. But I mean, these guys are laying track down or whatnot, and the right of way is already dedicated. The right of way.
I was just about to ask you that question, if the easements have already been.
The easements are already there. They don't have to go through any environmental, any of this stuff. It's going to go down the middle of the freeway, the middle of the 15 freeway, they say, until it hits state line. Then it'll jump over. I want to say it was on the east side of the interstate, and then it's going to fly down the east side of the interstate all the way into Warm Springs intersection there in Las Vegas.
So, does Brightline already have trains operating somewhere else?
Yeah, in Florida they have this same scenario that links. I forget what two major cities in Florida, but this thing's already up and running in Florida. It's been up and running for years. I can't remember how many years.
So sorry about that, but so you're saying, this isn't unprecedented. They're already doing it.
Already doing it. And the other thing too is they're supposedly having cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, I believe, on this train is what they said as well too. So you get on this thing, it's a drink. It's like you're on an airplane. It's just like you're on an airplane. So I mean, this thing for $70 or whatever it's going to be, free probably for the majority of people that are traveling to Las Vegas. It's going to be a big deal. I mean, not only the job creation that it's going to have for us here as they work on this whole deal. Like I said, I mean, it's something for Southern California to be able to go to Vegas in a 12-hour deal rather than having to do a 24-hour deal every time.
Well, the Fox article that we read before you came on targets a kind of a ribbon cutting, if you will, in 2027.
Yeah,
that article's from March. It's only 4 months ago.
Yeah, they believe this thing's only going to take a couple, 2-3 years to build.
Wow.
And we've been rolling on this thing, but like I said, as you continue to see more and more activity happen as far as new loans getting taken out, this acquisition of Sperry was just April 28th, which is, I mean, a couple months ago, right? I mean,
right.
Millions here, $122 million there in March. The activity continues. It's not stopping for sure. It would have stopped a long time ago had this thing kind of died.
Okay, well, let's talk about the third thing. That's the economic impact. And as I see it, there's good news and bad news that goes along with the economic impact. The article we read said 35,000 jobs. I mean, that is astronomical. That's a crazy number. We know not all of them will be specific to the desert, but a portion of them will be.
Let's just say 10,000. I mean,
yeah, let's say a third, 10,000 jobs.
5,000.
And our median income, household income in the desert's probably somewhere around 70,000. All of a sudden, you're bringing that or higher in the way of median income. That's a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing. We all want economic development. We all want higher paying jobs coming to our area. But what makes my stomach turn as a real estate broker is the astronomical pressure this is going to put on our housing market.
Sure. Yeah, we don't have any rentals. We barely have any houses for sale. There's going to be a demand. There's definitely going to be a demand. What's going to do the prices? I mean, like I said, we're seeing buyers still buy today at 7.5%. I mean, and they're not letting.
Oh, hey, you weren't here for because I kind of did the market update and everything before you came on. Look at this, dude. Look at this, bro. I've been doing this 25 weeks straight. Well, there was a couple of weeks we didn't do a show. Yeah. So say 27 weeks. Ever since the first of this year, I've been tracking these numbers every week, as you know.
Yep.
Look at this right here. Year over year, 1 year ago, same period between June and July, third week of June, third week of July, 466 homes is what we sold last year. The median income of those homes 1 year ago, $420,000.
Yep.
This week, we sold 376 homes at a median sale price of $420,500.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we are up year over year on median sale price.
Yeah.
Albeit it's only by 0.1%.
Yeah, but I mean, shoot, hey, the trend is trending upward, and that's what's crazy. Even
in spite of the rates.
By the way.
So what is a high-speed rail? And then the other, maybe we'll have you on for the other big project coming that they've already broken ground, right, on BNSF?
Yeah.
Did they break ground on that?
They didn't break ground yet, but now they're just finally sending out all their eminent domain letters to actually acquire everybody's land that they weren't able to come to an agreement on. So now they're just gonna not take it, but now they're by law they're gonna.
So that's over the next 5 years.
No, well, the build out of that thing, they project breaking ground next year and completion in 2026, I believe. And that's another 20,000 jobs. And
Michael,
that's 20,000.
And that's how many jobs? That's like 30,000 jobs, or I mean, some crazy.
20,000 is up to 30,000 jobs. So like,
I mean, what is that going to do to Barstow, Hellendale,
this whole valley,
Apple Valley?
I tell people, I said they project this population to double in the next decade, and this is why, because of these major.
Who do we need to call to start building houses, bro?
I don't know, man, but they got to get all hands on deck because it's gonna be crazy, and that could push these homes. We've always said these homes, man. We got homes here that they're only worth $700,000-$800,000, but if you drive down the hill, they're worth $2 million, right? I mean, maybe that pushes us up to over the $1 million mark finally, right? Maybe that's what gets us that.
But don't you think this is? I was talking to my mother, Paula. You know Paula.
Yep.
What a bright real estate mind she has.
Genius.
But when you're talking about our median sale price going from $420,000 to $720,000, I'm just throwing out that number as that would be a 60% increase or something like that. You're talking about pricing people out of the market altogether, right? And you're displacing people. Where do they go? Like what happens to those people that their household incomes 65, 70 grand, they're first time buyers, they've been lifelong renters, they're needing to get into a house? Where do they go?
Well, I think that's what happens. I mean, just like it's happened here, those people that were in LA moved out to the Rancho Cucamonga area, and then the Rancho Cucamonga area came out here, so they keep going out. So does that Barstow, obviously that's the most affordable place, does that become more desirable here pretty soon? Does the Lucerne Valley market more desirable? I think that's what starts to happen. Then you got the Landers. I mean, who would have thought, right? 29 Palms, all these other areas that are out further away that become more affordable. Because remember, you got a 30-minute drive in. That's where we're at right now, to Rancho Cucamonga in Ontario. That's where those guys were technically 45 minutes, 50 minutes away from LA, right? So if you get within that hour distance, 45, 30 minutes away from the next hub, right? Let's say this is the next hub, as we can tell with the population boom. I mean, Barstow, just past that, I mean, these places start to explode. And
Newberry Springs or something. What I tell people, and I explain to them our market and who we are, and so on and so forth. We're the last frontier of the LA metro area.
Right.
You go any further north from Apple Valley, you go any further east from Apple Valley, the median sale price, drops pretty dramatically. People are disinterested at this point in going further north or further east.
Right.
But this could change how people feel about going further north and further east if their commute is to the high desert rather than to Rancho Cucamonga or to Orange County or to Los Angeles.
Right.
Theoretically, I suppose you could see people commuting back and forth from Vegas.
And that's exactly right. And that's exactly what we talked about with this whole high-speed train. It's like, why wouldn't you live in Vegas? Why wouldn't you live in Vegas if you had an hour commute or hour and a half commute? I mean, it would make total sense for a lot of these people.
My goodness, Mike. I'm going to give you the last word. I mean, you got the crystal ball out. What's going to happen in this high desert over the next 5 to 10 years?
Somebody was just asking me the other day, they're like, man, what would you do right now? Knowing what's coming, what would you do? I said, man, I mean, to be honest with you, Silver Lakes is an undervalued area. There's no doubt. Hellendale is undervalued, especially when BNSF comes into that Barstow area, for sure. High-speed train again, and then Barstow in general. That place will probably double in the next 3 or 4 years, at least, with that kind of with that big of a industry coming in, right? That solid of an industry. These guys move America. An industry coming in that solid with that kind of employment coming to town in that specific area is, I mean, it's like, when are you gonna see something like that again? And that far ahead of it, where you see this area sitting there, undervalued with this monster coming, right? I mean, it's just like, gosh dang, if there's any areas you were going to invest in, Barstow, Silver Lake, for sure, if you're looking to have a solid investment over the next 5 years.
Yeah, and I think that northeasterly part of Apple Valley, the Sycamore Rocks area.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything out there where
the Hidden Valley is guaranteed, right? But I'm just saying, if you're looking for an undervalued area, our area is not undervalued. you're looking for an undervalued area where you can buy lakefront property in Silver Lakes. I think my client just bought $45,000. You come in 25 minutes to Spring Valley Lake, and they're closing at $280,000, $300,000 for a waterfront lot. So I'm saying undervalued Barstow, Silver Lakes. I think.
Have you talked to some of the people up there in Barstow and Hellendale about this?
No, I haven't really. Haven't. I mean, I'm hopefully they know.
You know, I sit on the board here for our HOA. I'm just wondering what their board, you know, how they're thinking and making plans. I just sold a house probably 6 months ago, maybe, to a couple who they were retiring, and they sold their house here in Apple Valley, purchased their house up in Hellendale. And I told them, look, I'm just telling you right now, this is a phenomenal investment because of these things that we've discussed. The big one being BNSF for them. You know, the value of your home is likely to go up and up. So, I mean, if we were to advise somebody that's thinking about, you know, that kind of move, you know, it might be like you said, waterfront plus your HOA dues, include your golf membership up there.
Yeah.
You know, might be a good place to scoop something up for $300,000, you know.
Pretty short period of time too. I mean, we're not talking a decade. We're talking 3 to 5 years, and you're going to see. I mean,
what Brady told me was that I wish I were your age.
Yeah.
I wish I were your age, and I'm like, well, I guess, you know, I wish I was Mike's age. But he talks about you and me and Bobby and, you know, our peers that, you know, we're the generation that's going to see this incredible boom. It's both good and bad news. I am working with a couple right now. They're using a down payment assistance program. The rates are high. The payment's kind of high. I said, you got to buy your house, man. You got to buy your house. Bite the bullet. Buy your house. Is that how you see it?
Yeah. For sure. And I mean, even at these rates, like I said, I mean, we get any relief on these rates, if they're already buying right now at a 7% interest rate, and we get a little relief on these interest rates, this buyer is going to come back, and you're going to wish you had a price, because you're going to end up paying $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 over if we get a little relief on this interest rate. Buyers are buying today at this crazy price, and they're buying at $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000 over market today.
Wow.
So.
Well, Mike, you're a wealth of knowledge. I appreciate you taking the time to come on and share with us what's going on. Keep us posted, man. If something, you know, there's an update or some news that comes down the pike on what's going to happen with this train, you can always just shoot me a little text and we'll get you on the broadcast here and get it. You know, I send this to my sphere. I send it to all my past clients. I send it to my leads, and I post it to all my social media. And so, you know, it'd be good to get the information to as many people as we can to help them.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you letting me come on. Thanks a bunch.
In the meantime, we appreciate you, sir, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. There it is, people. It's not a pipe dream. This high-speed rail train is coming. The land's already been purchased. The money's already been allocated. There's money moving around. They are making provisions. They're going to break ground on this. It is coming. It is not a you know, a pipe dream. It's not a fable. This is reality. And so for us, what this means is we need to make provisions to ready ourselves, and specific to those of you who are thinking of making a move in real estate, you know, potentially now's the time you should make that move. All right. I appreciate all of you. We will see you next week. In the meantime, we are serving your dreams. We'll see you next Monday on the Brian Hurst Show.